If you're interested in transformational growth and healing, then you're going to be interested in sex. But if you're interested in sex, you may or may not be interested in transformational growth and healing. In the beginning, most of us are interested only in sex. And it's through a mixture of curiosity and suffering that we become interested in healing. In our universe, all of creation is birthed by the interplay between the dualistic polarities or forces of nature. The Chinese symbol of yin-yang, which is at the heart of classical Chinese science and philosophy, demonstrates this concept. Here's a list of some natural dualities that are found in nature. And while these dualities are seemingly opposing forces, they're actually complementary opposites within a greater whole. In a human being, the mind is also built upon pairs of opposites. If there's an upside, there's a downside. If there's a good side, there's a bad side. A sad thought and a happy thought. And human bodies are, for the most part, also built on this biped polarity. 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 eyes, 2 ears. In human nature, sex and sexuality, or the duality of the masculine and feminine, is central to human behavior. That's because in a human being, the core and the cause of the dualistic mind is the ego. And the core of the ego is desire. And the core desire is sex. If you're going to deal with healing and consciousness, personally or professionally, psychologically, emotionally, or spiritually, then you're going to deal with the various polarities arising in the body-mind, including the polarities of sex. The essence of healing is about transforming and transcending those dualistic polarities. It's about the union of heaven and earth and uniting the dualistic polarities within your very own self. This presentation is about sex, love, and coming home. And it's a story that shamans, witches, yogis, and yoginis have told in 1,000 different ways, in 1,000 different voices, and in 1,000 different languages for millennia. In this life, I was a very young man when the awareness of sex and sexuality began to dawn in me. And it was then that I first took a fancy to the young ladies in the neighborhood. But it wasn't until my teenage years that I began to awaken to the desire for sexual healing and spiritual growth. And it was on my 21st birthday, the day that I legally became an adult, that my path in this life really awakened to transformational healing, sexual energy, and transcendental states of consciousness. From that point onward, I began to consciously engage in the awakening process. And I witnessed how that life force energy moved through my body, my mind, and my feelings along the central energy channel, from the lower base energy chakras up to the top of my head and into the crown. The title of this presentation, Sex, Love, and Enlightenment, is about the spiritual anatomy and biology of the body, mind, and soul. It describes the 3 main groups of chakra energy centers of the body-mind. Sex is the region of the Brahma Grante, love is the region of the Vishnu Grante, and enlightenment is the region of the Rudra Grante. In yoga, the levels of the body are well known. The earth element extends from the base to the diaphragm or the solar plexus. The sky or air element extends from the diaphragm up to the throat and fades into the lower heaven at the eyebrow. At the eyebrows and into the skull begins the heavenly realm.